Okay, in the packets that we've made available out front and also available on our website, you will see a copy of the minutes that we had from our December the 27th, 2018 public hearing that we had. Does anyone see any issues or corrections for those minutes before we sign them into the record? Hearing none, I'll sign those into the record. Okay, then we have right behind that the minutes from our December 27th, 2018, our regular scheduled meeting that we had following the public hearing. Does anyone see any corrections with those minutes? Hearing none, we'll sign those into the record as well. Okay, on our agenda, we're going to need to amend this agenda tonight and add one item that was omitted. So after our department statistics, we'll add number 5, and that will simply be a resolution R003-19 for the implementation of a Vision 2030 advanced team. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Okay, the first item of our agenda talked about a hazmat truck agreement. We are actually going to table that one at this time. There's still some documentation and things that we found out last minute that we needed to take a look at, so we're going to table that first item. Okay, our second item is a resolution, which is R-00119. This is a resolution of the Sole Commissioner of Walker County recognizing a change in the name of the Walker County Emergency Services. Whereas OCGA 25-3-1 gives county fire departments authority to perform all such services of the fire department as may be provided by law of which necessary pertains thereto, and whereas OCGA 25-3-4 provides that the governing body of each county, municipal, or other political subdivisions of the state shall have the power to enact such measures as may be necessary to carry out services of the county fire department. And whereas Walker County, Georgia created the Walker County Fire and Rescue District by ordinance on September 20th, 1994 to provide firefighting services in the county. And whereas OCGA 25-13-4 protects usage of the nomenclature of local fire departments from misuse, and whereas Walker County Emergency Services is current name of the department providing services of the fire department to Walker County, whereas the name Walker County Emergency Services leads some citizens and other emergency service agents to believe the department is responsible for emergency medical services rather than fire and rescue and emergency response. And whereas this resolution is necessary to recognize and declare the official name of the department providing services of Fire Department of Walker County, and therefore be it resolved, the Sole Commissioner of Walker County, Georgia, that the official name of the department providing services for Fire Department of Walker County is being designated as Walker County Fire Rescue. Be it hereby further resolved that any and all prior contracts, official actions, or legal obligations performed by, owing to, or from Walker County Emergency Services or Walker County Fire and Rescue are subsumed and assigned to Walker County Fire Rescue. So resolved and adopted the 10th day, January 2019. So Blake Hodge, our Fire Chief and Emergency Management Director, is with us tonight. Have you got any additional thing you would like to add to this?
Just to echo what it said, there's just a lot of confusion when people call with emergency management, then dealing with, because the fire department's separate from emergency management. We no longer have the ambulance service, but if we ever did, that still would be covered under the rescue side of the fire rescue. So there's just a lot of confusion with with phone calls and just the language there, so.
Yes, we want our citizens to clearly understand what they do, and that's fire rescue, so it will be named Walker County Fire Rescue. Any additional questions on this? Okay, we'll sign this resolution. Make this change official. Have our clerk attest that for the record. Okay, the next item is appointment to the Planning Commission, Resolution R-2-19, a resolution of the Sole Commissioner of Walker County to appoint members of the Planning Commission, whereas the Sole Commissioner of Walker County is the governing authority of Walker County, Georgia, and whereas by previous ordinance, the Commissioner appoints members to the Walker County Planning Commission for a 4-year term, Walker County Code of Ordinance 34-32, and whereas vacancy exists due to the expiration of David Hamilton, Michael Haney, and Frank Richardson on December 31st, 2018. Whereas Darrell Brooks, Michael Haney, and Jack Mullinax are duly qualified to serve as the members of the Planning Commission and have expressed willingness to serve the people of Walker County in such capacity. And now therefore be it resolved, the Sole Commissioner of Walker County, Georgia, that Darrell Brooks, Michael Haney, and Jack Mullinax are hereby approved and appointed to the Planning Commission, other such conditions as set forth by law for terms beginning immediately and concluding on December 31st, 2022. Be herefore further resolved that the Sole Commissioner expresses his deepest gratitude for the outgoing membership of the Planning Commission, David Hamilton and Frank Richardson, and thanks to them on behalf of the citizens of Walker County for their service and contributions to Walker County. So resolved and adopted the 10th day of January 2019. So we do have one of our new members with us tonight. Jack, raise your hand, be recognized. Jack's graciously agreed to serve on our Planning Commission, and so thank you for being willing to do this and serve the community.
Happy to do it.
So we do have a letter here to Michael Haney of his reappointment beginning immediately. And also Mr. Jack Mullinax. Mr. Brooks. Okay, the next item we have on our agenda is our monthly statistic report. We've made a little modification to this report to give you some better detailed information. Starting there at the top, we are breaking out on our animal shelter the intake, adoption, rescue, return to owner. That was all combined, and we're breaking that out to better show the activity of the animal shelter. So in the month of December, there were 64 dogs that were brought into intake and 6 cats. 40 of those animals have been adopted out on the dogs and 13 cats. Rescue, there were 30 dogs that were sent to rescue groups to find good homes. What we always like to see is the ones returned to owners. Sometimes dogs or cats will get loose, and it's always a good reunion to have the owners back with their pets, and so we had 6 of those. We did have 7 dogs that, due to medical issues or due to the aggressive nature of the animal, had to be euthanized. We do have a policy in place that all animals, before they're euthanized, 3 staff members have to sign off on that and verify that they are in agreement that that is what's best for the citizens of Walker County and for the animal on all euthanized going forward. Code enforcement, it was 248 in compliance. There were 9 violations or citations that were written in the month of December. That brought us also closing 12 cases for the month, so that got us 339 cases where there were property maintenance violations, and the property owners worked with code enforcement got their properties into compliance. They were able to go back and re-inspect and sign off on that and get those into compliance. So we had 339 this year, and there was 480 in 2017 that were brought in compliance. So we're quickly approaching that 1,000 mark of having 1,000 properties in compliance in Walker County that prior had not been. Our fire department continues to answer a lot of calls. There was, again, 507 calls in December. 458 of those was with our quick response vehicles. So they answered a total calls of 6,359 calls for the year, for a 12-month period, versus same 12-month period in 2016. They did 3,492 calls. So it's almost double the volume over 2 years prior, and a lot of that's due to answering and responding to more medical-related and life safety calls that before were only being handled by the ambulance service. Now we're dispatching both ambulance service and our first responders to give better emergency care to our citizens. The litter pickup on our roadways, it was 12,940 pounds of trash picked up off the roadway. Mountain Cove Farms had 53 nights booked and stayed in the Mountain Cove Farm Resort area. That set an all-time new record of 908 nights booked at the Cove. 2017, there was 525. In 2016, there was only 162. So you can tell the staff has really done a phenomenal job there the last 2 years, increasing the visitor booking rates at the Cove, and a lot of that is repeat business. And so we have a lot of repeat customers and getting good reviews, and so that helps drive our economy and helps bring attention to the beauties of Walker County. Single-family home construction, December being a wet, rainy month, it was hard for a lot of construction to get started, but there were 3. So they've got us 124 single-family home permits in 2018. Coming off a good year in 2017 of 135. Media impressions, we were able to document 41 media stories out into the market. We had 129 new Facebook followers that's following our Facebook post. There was 49 posts made for the month, 24,974 visitors to our website, and 60 new subscribers to our e-newsletter. It was hard to get a lot of patching done in December, but there was 379 potholes patched. Total trips by transit, 1,841, so they're consistently over 1,800 transit trips every month, which continues to show the value of that service to our citizens and how well utilized that program is in our county. Any questions on this report? Okay. All right, then the one agenda item that we added is Resolution R3-19, and I'll read this, and then I'm going to ask Robert Wardlaw to speak to this after we read this. Resolution of the Sole Commissioner of Walker County to appoint members to the Vision 2030 Advanced Team for the purpose of addressing planning, zoning, and housing issues in Walker County. Whereas there is a strong interest from the citizens of Walker County to address issues pertaining to land use, especially issues affecting property values, public nuisance, property rights, and future development. And whereas Walker County is in the prime position for population growth and economic development, and trends in housing and land use require revisiting, updating, modernizing county ordinances, land use, restrictions, and zoning provisions. And whereas addressing the complex issues above requires a cross-section of individuals from different areas of Walker County with interest in the subject matter, experience in housing, land use regulations, and community development. Now therefore be it resolved by the Sole Commissioner of Walker County, Georgia, the following individuals are hereby appointed to the Vision 2030 Advanced Team: Philip Cantrell, Stanley Matthews, Scott McNabb, David Roden, Bobby Teams, Elizabeth Wells, Matt Williamson, and be further resolved by the Sole Commissioner of Walker County, Georgia, the Vision 2030 team shall investigate, research, discuss, and deliberate actions necessary for purpose of making recommendations to the governing authority of Walker County concerning the issues described in this resolution. And be further resolved by the sole commissioner of Walker County, Georgia, that the Vision 2030 advanced team shall continue for such time deemed necessary by the governing authority to address issues described in this resolution. Be it here further resolved, the sole commissioner expresses his gratitude for the willingness of the above individuals to serve upon this team and thank them on behalf of the citizens of Walker County. So resolved and adopted this 10th day of January 2019. So I'll let Robert give you some insight. He's been spearheading some of this, and I'll let him speak to that.
Thank you, Commissioner. This is a natural extension of all the different initiatives we undertake, and they all kind of go together. They look like separate initiatives, but when you look at Walker Rocks, for instance, Walker Rocks ties into enhancing the revenue stream through sales taxes. And when that happens, burden of property tax is halted or ultimately reduced in time, you would hope. Those things go together, and when that happens, it becomes, our Walker County becomes a more attractive place to invest business-wise and a more attractive place to live. And the world changes, and as it does, we have to stay up to date and address the diverse needs of a population of currently around 69,000 people, but it's going to be more in the coming years. And you notice on here we say 2030. I think I've heard the commissioner say at least 25 times during his 2 years here that he is making decisions, and by he, I'll say we, make decisions that affect how we believe the county is going to look in 30 years, not to political or convenience of the moment in time. So these long-term decisions, and we feel like, based on the feedback we've received from citizens, and we believe this for ourselves, that to serve people responsibly is to do so in a way that addresses future needs, not just what looks or feels good or makes one look good when they happen to be in the role of service at this moment. So this is the natural extension of that. We have wanted to do this for several months. The time is right now, and I do applaud the commissioner here for initiating and supporting this, where you get grassroots feedback from people that are actually doing jobs out there, not just people talking about things, but people that are actually experts in fields that are covered by all these sophisticated and complex codes initiatives. So this team under Matt's not really leadership, it's going to be an organic team, but Matt is the one that ultimately would prepare the ordinances for consideration and approval. So Matt's going to be in with these citizens. They're going to meet, I don't know, I think it's just going to be periodically as you all can do so. And they're going to talk from their different perspectives. You've got building perspective, you've got real estate perspective, and you have community advocacy and activism perspective there. And all those will blend together to give us a product that I believe we'll all be proud of at the end. So,
very good summary. This is something I'm very excited about because, again, as Robert indicated, we're talking about our future here and planning and making sure decisions that we make today, how they affect us later, and not just do things based off of a political term or cycle. And so this is something that is a very complex issue that we want to make sure we've got it right. And there's probably a lot of things in the existing ordinances that are correct, they're right, but we want to have some people come together with a pretty diverse background of knowledge of the overall industry to sit down and go through these and kind of vet them out to make sure they're still relevant or if things need to be changed. There's trends in across the country with that you see on TV with tiny homes and container homes and different things that are going on that are new trends that we currently don't address in our current ordinances that need to be addressed. So we have best practices, and ultimately, all of this is, I say all of it, a lot of this is driven toward the life safety to make sure any construction or building and things are done in the best interest of life safety, meet the latest standards across the country. So this is something that's going to be a long project. It's going to take a lot of volunteer hours from this group to do this, and I'm very appreciative and very excited that they're willing to tackle this challenge because it's not going to be an easy one. This is not something they're going to go in and in 1 or 2 meetings spend 2 or 3 hours and say, oh, yeah, we've done it. This is going to be a long process to make sure we have it right, and also do some research and look at what other communities around us are doing and in other fast-growing marketplaces to make sure we're ready for the future. So it's we have some letters here. I'll read these. These are all identical, addressed to each one. It says, I would like to thank you for your support and the dedication that you are providing Walker County by serving on the Vision 2030 Advanced Team. As you know, Walker County is in the prime position for population growth, economic development, and trends in housing and land use required revisiting, updating, and modernizing county ordinances, land use restrictions, and zoning provisions. We value your experience in the subject matter and greatly appreciate your dedication and support to improve the quality of life of Walker County and the citizens. Sincerely, Shannon K. Whitfield, Sole Commissioner. So, again, we wanted to bring this and make this public today, but they will be working on this, and as things are brought forward on all ordinance changes, we will have the standard 2 public hearings. So there's not anything that's going to change that is not going to be done in the protocols that the county has in place. So we will advertise in the paper, have the public hearings, allow for public input before any changes are made. So this is not something that anyone has to fear that we're going to come in and make radical changes that nobody's had time to look at or think about or to talk. And so we want to do this the right way, get it documented, make sure it meets all the legal requirements of the state laws, and we will move this forward over the next coming weeks and months ahead of us. Any questions about this? Yes, sir.
Will their planning meeting be open to the public, or will it be private sessions?
There'll probably be some of both.
Some of both?
Yeah.
I imagine that there may be situations where this group may want to go and look at particular conditions through the county, and that might be hard to make that open to the public, so to speak, because there'll be a mobile team, and I imagine that they'll probably want to talk informally and over the telephone and things like that as well.
I suspect you'll have luncheon meetings there where you get together and have lunch and discuss them.
Most likely.
That's understood.
Yeah. So we want to get community involvement because we don't have all the answers. And we realize that this is a very complex issue, and there's a lot of subject matters that we don't have the diverse knowledge that a lot of our citizens have that can bring those ideas and experience to the table to help guide this along. So at the end, we come up with the best of the best.
Shannon, if I may,
Yes, sir.
as we kind of introduce this platform, this idea of this forward thinking, this 2030 advanced team, this platform is not limited to this codes investigation either. There are a lot of things in the community to be talked about. So you might see this used in different contexts moving forward as we take on the things that are important at the moment. So I would appreciate, the whole team would appreciate that if you're folks that are in here, some of our most active citizens, if you could kind of talk about this a little bit and kind of let people know that when opportunities arise to serve the citizens, we sure welcome it, and we appreciate any time that you know of someone that wants to serve in some capacity. But, it's very exciting. It's a great look forward for our county when we're have spent 2 years not looking backwards necessarily, but getting things stabilized. We're excited. The office is really excited right now because now we're looking to the future, and that's what we've been wanting to do all the time.
Yeah, we're glad to put the challenges behind us. Very much. Okay. Well, that ends our regular scheduled meeting, but as always, we do like to open up the floor for any open discussion. We just ask anyone that would like to address this meeting publicly, if you would step up to the podium so we can get you on camera and everybody can see and hear you. And we just ask that you state your name, and then we ask that you limit your comments to things about Walker County. We can't fix state issues or national issues, those type of things, so we want to talk and keep it focused on Walker County, and we, out of respect to others, ask that you keep your comments brief and precise and not get off track, and so we can all have time to speak that want to speak. So if there's anyone that would like to speak tonight, we welcome you to come up to the podium one at a time and state your name for us. All right. Well, we appreciate you all attending. We know it's cold and dark, and got a pretty good turnout here tonight. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your interest in Walker County. And we'll see you back here 2 weeks from tonight at 6 o'clock for our next meeting. Thank you.
Good night, folks. Thank you.